Hey YouTube, New York Half-Ass Prepper here. Today we're taking a look at a little tabletop. I wanted to get this video out. It's a little bit late because of my work schedule and the bureaucracy in the wonderful state of New York, People's Republic of New York. It takes a couple weeks from when I buy a firearm until I get it in my hand. But anyway, this is a tabletop of the surplus Beretta 92S pistols that are out there on the market right now. I know a lot of you guys have seen it. Palmetto has a couple of pallets of them, and J&G and some other outfits. So I know a bunch of people are leery about buying used stuff and surplus stuff, but we'll do a tabletop here, and you'll see exactly what you get. This is a Beretta 92D to my collection. I just brought it out for comparison. This is a commercially available model, and this is the surplus one from Italy. So this is the box it comes in. It's a plain Jane box, cardboard box with a label with some Italian writing and stuff on there. Actually, it says 92FS on here, but we know that this is an S. Okay, so you open it up, piece of foam, piece of wax paper, whatever this crap is, and you get the pistol. Actually, it has the Glock death pylon in the box here, but that's another video. Anyway, this is what you get. I actually was impressed with the shape of the pistol, of the firearm. It's actually in good shape. A little bit of holster wear, you can tell that was definitely used. Some wear here on the back strap, and you can see the grip has definitely been tossed around and used a little bit. But other than that, it's in good shape. Now the only difference between this firearm and the Beretta FS or the Beretta G and the other models out there is that this has the European style magazine release, which is down here. I've never had a firearm with this on it. It's going to take some muscle memory to get used to. I think you're going to have to use two hands to drop this in a shooting type situation. We'll drop it right now. I'll show you this. I'll get into the magazines in a minute, but it comes, your gun, if you live in a free state, will come with one 15-round magazine. I did not get a magazine because I live in the People's Republic of New York, so they couldn't ship me a magazine. So this is my own commercially purchased 10-round magazine. If you buy magazines for this, some people tell you, oh, you can't get mags for these, it's a European gun, they're different. That's incorrect. The OEM Beretta magazines from Beretta come with this notch down here, which is made for this style of gun. The surplus GI mags, which are really cheap, and there's a bunch of them on the market, do not have this on them, and they will not work in this gun. They'll fit in the gun and everything, but they won't lock in because of the location here of this release. But I've been told, I haven't tried this myself yet, but I've been told, but 5 minutes with a Dremel, and you take an ordinary magazine and you Dremel out that little spot, and it'll work in this gun. So then you'll have this magazine will also work in this gun too. So if you just want to standardize on your platforms and stuff, that's one way of accomplishing it. So anyway, it's in good shape. My only disappointment with this is the sights suck on this. There's no inserts on them at all, but I mean, I could fix that. But for $259 from Palmetto, Black Friday sale, you get a hell of a gun. You get a lot of firepower. A lot of gun. Now, I served in the military. Specifically, I was in the Coast Guard for 8 years. And for 4 of those years, I had to carry this uncomfortable piece of metal on my hip. In fact, I carried it in that exact holster right there. I had a job that was an equivalent to an MP, basically a Coast Guard MP, except we changed the names around a little bit. At the time, the Coast Guard was a agency primarily a law enforcement agency under the Department of Transportation. So we don't really have military police. We had other stuff. But anyway, it was like a an inside the Coast Guard interior type law enforcement job. And I was issued a Beretta 92F. They didn't have the S at the time. And it looked exactly like this, except this little safety lever was a little bit different on the one that I had. Other than that, it was the same gun. And it had the American style magazine release. And we called them M9s. And I was actually older than that. I go back even farther. When I first joined the Coast Guard, they still had the we still had 38 Victory revolvers, and we still had the Colt 1911s. That are probably, those things were probably pre-World War II, and we were still issuing those until about '88. I think I was in the Coast Guard like a year before my unit was issued the Berettas, and then we transitioned over from there. So the you guys, you can see this is my D. And this one is beat up a little bit more than my D is. And my D has some inserts in the sights, give you a good sight picture. And this is generally cleaner overall than this guy is. But I think they're changing the barrels of these because the barrel has a different serial number than the frame does. Maybe the barrels were shot out or something, and they did that when they surplused it. And the other thing they did when they surplus is they put the import markings up here. They stamped it into the slide. And this gun here does not have that. This is actually a 96, but I run it in the 92 configuration. I have a 9mm barrel and a link in there, so it shoots 9mm. And this gun has also been modified. If you guys are sharp, this is a D. This is supposed to be a double action only pistol, and it's been modified to have a hammer spur and a sear, so that you can do that. And it operates double single like the 92F does. The only thing it lacks is the safety and decocking lever, which in my opinion is the biggest piece of shit flaw of the 92. Other than it being a big giant uncomfortable hulky piece of metal gun, the safety, see numerous people go to the range, and what happens is you put the magazine in the gun. There's a standard battery of arms with this firearm. You put a magazine in the gun, you rack the slide when you get up, when you're loading the gun. It chambers around, it leaves the hammer back here like this when you do that. So to drop the hammer, they don't want you putting it in the holster with the hammer back, you hit the safety. And I've seen hundreds of people, military members that have been trained, or are training at the time, leave this like this, and when they get the firing line to tell them to shoot, and they get nothing. So you have to remember to put the safety back up if you want to fire this firearm. Now, they solved that problem with the 92G. On that gun, it's orientated toward a law enforcement market, and when you push this down, it's on a spring, and it goes back up, so you can't leave it down in the safe position. So it gives you the decocking ability, because the firearm does have a hammer. It gives you the decocking ability, but that's on a spring and it pops back up, so there's no way you can screw it up. So you unholster your handgun and it'll fire. Now this guy here, this doesn't have any of that shit. This guy here, you have to lower it by hand the old-fashioned way, which is not the safest thing in the world, but since this is primarily a target pistol, nobody's going to carry this concealed or anything. There's no decocker present because the original configuration of the gun had a spurless hammer on here, and it always went forward. When the slide went forward, the hammer went forward also. So every single shot that you took was double action like this. And this has been broken in and worked over nicely because it's very, very smooth double action on this gun, this particular example. So here you are. This is a look at the Beretta 92S, which are surplus, $259 from Palmetto. In my opinion, it's an excellent deal. It's a bargain. You get a lot of pistol for your money. They're coming out in pretty decent shape. This is the second review I've seen of them where they actually had one in their hands. I think what's his name, MD Prepper put out a review, and then there was another one where I saw the cases of them on the pallet. It was a video, but you didn't get to actually see an example of the gun. So this is what you get, and in my opinion, it's well worth it. If you're interested in getting into the Beretta, if you're a Beretta fan, if you collect Berettas, definitely get one. If you're just a prepper, there's other options, but that $259 price is really hard to beat. If you live in a free state, you got a nice 15 round 9mm handgun, and if you're not afraid of the Dremel, you could buy $5 surplus mags at gun shows, Army, Navy stores. Gun stores have them in the bin sometimes that are coming back, USGI, and you can Dremel them out and have a bunch of $5 15 round mags for the firearm. So that's it. It's my tabletop of the Beretta 92S, and hopefully we'll get out and shoot this thing. It's we're still in the middle of hunting season, so I can't really do much, but maybe we'll get to the indoor range or something, and we'll get some first shots of this guy. That's it. I'm out.